Alright, well, this LTA, I'm your boy Doe.
What up, though, man? Inspired you, man. Let's get to it.
Man, let's get to it. What we on for today, man?
Man, so it was a post, you know what I'm saying? For one, I think we should start off with that post because they've been trying to get on us for the last couple of weeks. I'm going to just read the post off just word for word. But for the most part, it was something about 98% of the children that do not have fathers is because of the mom. And you know what I'm saying? It strikes a lot of controversy or whatnot because, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people would think that we side with, you know, the fathers. You know what I'm saying? Saying that, you know, most of the children that have absent fathers because of the mother's behavior. But in actuality, it get a little deeper than that.
So they said 98%?
Yeah, I'm just gonna read the quote, you know what I'm saying? Because I saw it on Facebook and I shared it. But it said 98% of absent, where did it just go? I just had it. My bad, we lied. It says 98% of children have absent fathers because of their mother's behavior. So
where they getting these numbers from?
that was the question.
That was my next question. Where is we getting these numbers from?
The numbers. So I'm thinking it's somebody that's really mad, you know what I'm saying, that created the post. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way 98% of children have absent fathers because of the mother's behavior.
We know Facebook full of misinformation, so.
Yeah, well, even if it is that, let's say.
Oh, it sparked the conversation though.
Well, let's say this though.
Some of the ladies ready to fight.
Even if we say that the dudes that ain't there, let's say they're not there just because majority of times because of the mom. That's a weak ass excuse.
In my opinion, that's the lamest excuse.
That's a dumbass excuse because at the end of the day, go to court and get your child, or definitely get at least what's this? You know, half 50, of the damn,
man. Get 50 custody or something. And that's like my biggest thing is like a lot of individuals will treat that information as truth or as fact because they don't want to take the responsibility to actually become the father that they're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Let's start with this though. Let's start here. Let's go back to what y'all was just saying.
What's up?
It ain't never 50-50. It's never 50-50. Being in Minnesota, if you're a parent, you know, and had kids out of wedlock, it's never 50-50, even if the paperwork says that it's 50-50. What that turns into, and I've seen it happen, is a continual having to go back and forth to court for the judge to say the same thing to the other parent, you know what I mean, or the mom in most situations, because they typically have custodial rights because the kids live with the parent, with the mom, and it's never 50-50.
Well, at the end of the day, at least you did your due diligence, though. You did your part. You know what I mean? You know.
And then even still, that's not even that ain't even.
I mean, at least you did your part, though. And then if you gotta keep going to court, you gotta keep going to court. At least you're doing your part. You know what I mean? You can't just give up. There's so many dudes that be like, oh man, I had to go back and forth to court and blah. Like, that's your child, nigga. At the end of the day, who cares? How many times you had to go? I don't give a fuck if you had to go till you was 91. You know what I'm saying? That's your job.
That's my biggest thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? True indeed, you run into some crazy situations though. So for the fathers that have had to deal with the mothers that, you know, want to play the games on the weekends and things like that, like it is a percentage of men that have to deal with that, but I don't think it's nowhere near 98%. You know what I'm saying? Like, I honestly believe somewhere in there, it might be like maybe 30-40%, maybe, you know what I'm saying? But I also know the ways of the world, you know what I'm saying? So in the ways of the world, a lot of the times, men and women have children by people that they really don't even want to be bothered with, right?
Yeah,
so we jump into these situations off of physical lust, and then we end up having a child with somebody that on a regular basis we wouldn't even want to be bothered with. You know what I'm saying? But now we got this child in the middle, and now the games can somewhat begin. You know what I'm saying? A mother could set expectations for one. I think a lot of the times when these situations happen where the fathers are absent, it's because the mother has tried to force a child on that man. So I know of a situation right now where a young lady knew this man didn't want to have no children, right? So she knew he ain't want to have no children. She ended up pregnant. He like, man, what we gonna do about the baby? I really don't want to raise no baby. And she like, well, I don't care what you feel. I'm finna raise the baby anyway.
We don't have no control over that period.
Can't control that. You know what I'm
Only thing you
saying?
control is yourself, but you know what that turns into? That goes back to that situation where it's like, well, you should have used protection. It doesn't matter what a man says after he did what he did with that woman.
Right.
Once you get pregnant and you're not protecting yourself, you lose all. You have no say-so anymore.
And that's this the other part. So on that end, in respect to that conversation, I was having a conversation with one of the elders in the community about that. And the way that she formatted it, because it was a female, she says that a lot of the times in our society, a woman believes that once she becomes pregnant, she is the only sole creator of that child. When in actuality, the man has to send a seed in order for that tree to grow. So it's like, the way we look at things is like the woman has all parental rights once she becomes impregnated because she's carrying that child. But she would have never had that child if the man ain't put that seed in her. So it's this.
But y'all know what y'all doing, right?
What happened?
Everything you just said, if we're going by the post, you're saying 98% is the woman's fault.
I ain't saying
That's what
98%.
you just said either she's gonna have a baby if you don't, even if you don't
Even
want
if
it.
you don't want it.
So that will be
It's
her
her
fault.
choice.
Well, then that will be putting the blame on her.
It's not a blame. It's not a blame.
That's a decision.
I know, but the point is, y'all saying that the man ain't gonna have no say, so she's like, hey, I'm having this
She
baby.
having that baby.
So y'all putting the blame on her.
If she gonna have that baby, she gonna have that baby. Now that's just some situations. I can't say that
What are we
that's
blaming her
98%
for?
of the
Because
time.
we're saying the post, if we're going by the
About
post.
social constructs. Social constructs of today is the woman has all rights
Parental
to her
right.
body.
Right.
So
Her
we're,
body, period. Whether
Yeah.
the child is in it or not, she has all rights to her body. Social constructs.
right. So I'm just saying, if we're going by the post said 98% of the reason why men ain't there is because of the woman.
Because of a woman.
And everything we just mentioned was on the
I
woman.
mean, but look who's on the stage though. It's a stage full of men.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? It's an interesting conversation.
You wanna add
Or just reinforce what he said on the mic, just reinforce what he
Yeah.
said.
What I got out of that concept of what was stated is that was a man that was scorned, not a woman. That was a man that was scorned. He's saying something about how he feel. Maybe he might be a good father, maybe he's not. But he's saying the reason why he's not in child life, or the reason why a lot of men are not in their child life, is because of women, which is sometimes true. Because sometimes women, if you ain't giving them what they won't let you see their kid. And that's kind of sad too. You gotta see, what people don't understand is, what you're supposed to be doing is being selective when you having sex with.
Exactly.
Fact.
That's where it started, right? So like a lot of people end up pregnant, and they end up pregnant or being the father to a child, or being the father or a baby's father
End
to
up-
a
end up-
person
end up
that they
pregnant.
don't even want. You know what I'm saying?
Off that massage.
Off that massage.
End up pregnant off that massage.
And then he ain't even want parts. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just that physical attraction, that energy got exchanged, and boop, a baby got popped up.
Well, I got a solution for that. This is exactly what I've been
What's
talking
up?
about all the
What's
time.
up? What's up?
We need to start teaching our kids how to build foundations before you worry about a relationship. Yes, you might juice and all that good shit. Fuck, for those that don't know what juice means.
Right.
Yes, you might have your little sex and all that, but far as a relationship goes, you shouldn't think about a relationship till you're about 27 years old. Go to college or don't go to college, get a job, stack your money. However you do it, build a foundation, and then when you go meet somebody else, they got a foundation, and then y'all can work it out.
So basically, to piggyback off that, establish yourself first.
Establish yourself first.
yourself as a man. Establish yourself as a woman.
Good luck with
before
that
you
with this
decide
generation.
before you decide to entertain a relationship, because it's more than just like you said, fucking, or you know what I'm saying. And you gotta take that time to know who you are first before you can let somebody in. Because what happens is when you're young and you get into these relationships, you don't even know who you are yet, and you try to grow with a person and you don't even know who you are. I didn't get to learn that first.
Exactly.
I don't get to learn the person, and I haven't figured myself out first.
And look, and that goes for even if you do it the so-called right way. You know, they say marry your high school sweetheart. By the time you're 20, let's say you did get married. That's still the same thing. You don't even know if you're gonna like that person in the next 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, so even if you do the married route, or if you just not doing it, whatever you wanna call it, the right way, and you're just having kids, either way it go get yourself together first. go get your established, go get a job or whatever kind of career you're gonna do, build you something, and then by the time you're 28-ish, 27 or whatever, then worry about
See, the thing is though, like in our community, so like we speak of what would be acceptable or whatnot, but when you look into our community, a lot of the children is hypersexualized before they even get into high school.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, and a lot of them already had a concept to where they feel like they don't need the other parent to be a parent. You know what I'm saying? So it develops this disconnect right out the gate. You get disconnected out the gate. These young ladies grow up in houses where they probably didn't have their father, and now they are at the age where they can have children, and they probably feeling the same way. And then in regards to that post, like I feel like that post is just doing injustice because the numbers are definitely off. It ain't 98%. I would say it's closer to 30% of the men.
I wonder what do they mean though? Like, do they mean that, like, just everybody that don't got dads, period? Or as they say, I wonder what that meant really.
They was hitting around that the only reason why 98% of our children have absent fathers is because of their mother's behavior. And I can't agree with that.
Yeah.
I can't even see that as being possible, even though I know there are situations where this happens, where individuals are separated from their children due to the mother's behavior, but it's nowhere near 98%.
No.
I just want to take it back just a little bit though. We need to normalize, having like picking women not from how they look, but how you match, or you know what I mean?
It goes both ways. I'm glad you brought that up.
Like let me see. Well, is your family educated? Is my family educated?
Right.
Like let's normalize those type of things when to the youth growing up. Like, listen, you gotta set a standard for yourself. You know what I mean? Because you'll end up with 18 years and a heartache off of one moment. You know what I mean? So normalize figuring out like.
Do we even like each other?
Yeah, do we mesh with each other? You know, does your family fit with my family? Or what are your morals? Or how do you think about this? Or what do you think about that?
I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of times men date for cuteness and women date for pocketbooks. You know what I'm saying? So either way it goes, it's like you said, it's never genuine really. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times anyway. Ain't nothing 100%, y'all. So when we talk, this is just
One thing I want to
general.
say is, what we need to start doing is making sure we steadily educate the youth about protecting themselves, because sex brings emotions that they are not ready for. They're not mature enough to understand what they're doing, so that's why these babies are coming about, and people are scorned, and people have a lot of bad feelings and ill will toward each other because they're having unprotected sex. And if they were having protected, I'm not telling them not to be sexually active, because I can't tell nobody what to do, but if you're protecting yourself, at least you eliminate the process of you having a baby.
Yep.
Or if I didn't want a baby, all that's still eliminated because we protected ourselves. We had a great time, we protected ourselves.
And Plan B's is not condoms, people. Throwing that out there.
Plan B is not a condom.
Plan B is not a condom. Ain't nobody Plan B in it right now. It's not a condom.
They just doing the most. They just going straight to ball.
The nephew like, what is the Plan B?
That's a feeling that the music goes.
Yeah, that's the whole point. So you really supposed to be using protection, but instead they say fuck protection. I just go get the Plan B.
And on the back end, if you subject your body to all them type of chemicals, them chemicals can mess up your whole cycle. Your reproductive cycle could now be offset because every other weekend you're running to get a Plan B for somebody that you know you're not supposed to let getting up in you.
They are not vitamins.
You know what I'm saying?
Not Flintstone vitamins.
It's a bad set of mind, brother.
It's a bad set of mind. It's like the aftercare. You know what I'm saying? Instead of taking care of yourself before you get into a situation, you want to take care of it after the situation. And it's like
Henny and a Plan B. Henny and a Plan B.
Damn.
that's the new concept. So for the kids, or you know what I'm saying, for the community, man, you need to have these conversations with the children out there, man, and also start reinforcing the roles of what a family is supposed to look like. A lot of the kids that got so messed up, they don't even know what their family's supposed to look like. They go home, they got mom got 2-3 boyfriends and a girlfriend.
Damn.
They go to dad's house, dad got 2-3 girlfriends.
And now a boyfriend.
Not me.
Man, yeah, You know, but that's the reality on the real. It's like that's how a lot of stuff happening now. And like what happens is that it distorts these children's reality and make them believe that they can just have kids and they don't need to be raised in two-parent households.
I just seen a video today of this transgender teacher was in class.
Man.
Now this is in Oregon. These people took out math, reading, and one more other thing. Math, reading, I can't think of the other thing. And the transgender teacher is sitting there telling the kids, "Well, I'm transgender, so I don't identify with just a man or a woman." First of all, why the hell is we got a teacher in school talking about some? Why is sexuality even taught in school? But you're not even.
That's an agenda.
But you're not even talking. But you're not even teaching how to write a checkbook. You're not even. You're taking out math and all that to talk about sex.
Man and woman is not sexuality. Man and woman is identity.
Right. But you know they say you can't talk about one without the other. Is what they say. That's one of the things I was saying.
So I kind of see
People
what
can't
you're saying.
compartmentalize.
Too
People
much.
can't compartmentalize. Identity is identity. Man and woman is identity.
Right.
Sexuality is something different.
I agree with
Totally
you.
different.
I still kind of identify.
So is
with
that
like
something
bro
that should
saying.
be, is that something that should be,
But bottom line is that it kind of leads, even with what you identify with self, it kind of leads to that conversation of sexuality.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. Yeah,
And
that's
like
what-
I get what you're saying though, because it's like at that age, why are we even having that talk?
Why-
We
why we
talking
even
about
doing that?
something.
that's something that happens in the home.
Sex,
Exactly.
Talk
Sex.
about those type of issues in the home.
Right.
Don't bring that to school.
But
Because what I don't want my child to have to figure out sexual genders and identities and none of that.
That's
I
true,
need to know
too.
how
Let
to
a
read,
child be a child.
reading, writing, and
Let a
arithmetic.
child be a child.
Hold on, before we hear y'all.
How soon?
Hold on before we hear y'all. Before we hear y'all.
Sex can be a preference, though. Sex can be, I want this or that. It can be preferred. You can prefer this or that when it comes to sex. Identity is what is fact. That's what identity is.
I get what he's saying.
No, I agree with you.
Because that's like
But-
saying, okay, I am a male. That's like saying I am a male. I am a male. You can't deny that. But then there's somebody
But
that'll
the sexual
say.
preference is not.
But at the same time, even what he's saying with identity, though, I do identify me personally as a male, but somebody else might say, you know. So it's still that's a huge topic.
Hey, look at
It's definitely-
You still separate church and state
That's the
from
topic
school.
that needs
So
to
you
be
need to
had.
But I-
discuss
It
them.
should be,
Overall,
But I get what he's saying, though. You know, you have to. It's a difference between sexuality and individuality.
It should
That
be.
should be
It is.
compartmentalized.
It should
To
be.
go back to my man point though, at what age do you get to all of that?
Yeah,
There's a
for-
lot of other things that you
A
can be
lot of these
discussed.
kids grow up in homes where it is that. You know what I'm saying? So they and the
There's
other
no
part
clear
about it,
definition.
the other part
They need
about
some.
it, the other part
So
about it
I
is the
get all
fact
the points. They
that
all
of it-
very valid. All very
the
valid.
other part about it is that, like I was saying earlier, it's hypersexualized. So a lot of this material
very hyper.
that is presented to our children is an attempt to program them into thinking some type
Black
of way.
folks are so
Right?
highly
So,
sexualized.
can I ask, is it sex over identity these days?
No. See, we're
I
not
think
just
it's a fine line between them.
Like
brother.
that's one of them conversations.
It's a
because
fine line
a person
between
can
them, brother.
identify.
So what happens when you
One
think
at a
about
time, one at a
it?
time.
Not
A
sex,
person can identify.
not sex, sexuality over
Sexuality
identity.
and identity is
Hand in
the
hand.
line. The line
It's
is
a very
almost
fine
becoming
line.
blurred.
Hand in hand.
It's almost becoming blurred. It's almost
How can you
becoming
pull
blurred.
it? Right, we over here having a
The only
side.
reason why the lines are being blurred right now behind sexuality and identity is because of the social construct behind it. The push for us to be able to understand different levels of identity and to be accepting of the sexual preference that they have. So it's like this,
Hand in hand.
it's this weird space.
And
What we
if
gotta understand.
If it's a woman that identifies as a he, then automatically you're gonna look at what the sex or what they do sex. That's just an automatic thought.
Because sex is, in the beginning, was only utilized for the purpose of reproduction. That line has been blurred.
Oh, we got somebody want to say something back
I
here.
Yes,
just
ma'am.
want to say, I get what, I'm okay, I'm all for whatever you want to be it. I can't judge anyone for who or what they want to be or what they feel in their soul. But I don't want it to be taught in school.
No.
Fact.
This is the reason why I do not want it to be taught in school, because our children are already, like, they're already, what's the word I'm looking for?
Impressionable, Very.
Not
No,
even
but
that,
they
they're
see-
influenced.
Yeah, come on, let them
They're
get it out, let them get it out.
They're influenced.
They're
Let her get
influenced
it
by
out,
the
y'all.
wrong things. And they're easily to be influenced because everything that you see now, when we were growing up, we didn't see a man dressed in a thong or a woman. If you were, they call him, a faggot, or a gay man or straight or whatever it was like kind of kept in the dark. You see what I'm saying? But now it's everywhere. You go on TikTok and you see a man with a dress on and it's okay. And not saying it's not, and I'm not talking about, it's just, it's there.
Every
It's,
TV
it's
show.
like right in your face. And vice versa with a woman.
We was having a conversation about this
I
in
believe it
regards to
brings
the clubs that we used to go to. So like as a child, I was in Route 66. You know what I'm saying? 66 King Drive, we in the skating rink.
Come
and
on
we
now.
was juking, right?
Yeah,
You never saw the girls juking on each other the way the women juke on each
I
other right
agree.
now.
It's when I tell you, it's become okay. And like I said, again, whatever you're gonna be, you're gonna be. But when it's like, okay, you should be gay. It's like, this is what they should just have a post. Guess what? It's okay to be gay. You should be gay. You should be gay. It's great. That's what they're telling these children when you are on TikTok, literally if I pop in on Google search, gay men, it's gonna pop up a gay man having sex with another man. Like if you go down, there's nothing censoring anything anymore. Everything is uncensored, everything is open and out there. And if you decide to be that person, that should not be shared outside of your bedroom. That should not be shared on TikTok. That should not be shared on all these different Snapchat, all these private Snapchat. It's just
Private parts ain't private.
But that's just like, but that's just like, do you walk up to somebody and be like, hey, my name is blah, 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 I'm straight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but nowadays we're forced to be interactive with everything. Like, I don't have
individuality.
like I don't got a problem with gay people at all, but I don't think that we should be forced to live their life.
Don't force that on me.
You know what I mean?
Let me tell you, it's become, like, listen, and I have no issues with nobody, what they do, and their personal life is what they do, but I have found this to be a problem, how it becomes, people who live in these worlds, they become so comfortable that they think it's okay to come and try to talk to anybody. They try to talk to anybody. Like a dude would try to just come talk to a straight dude now. Like it's okay. That's not okay at all though. So that's what it is. That they pushing their agendas out here. And again, I don't.
And there's things. I mean, people call them conspiracy theories, but there's things saying that doctors is actually playing a part in it too by making, like certain drugs they give you to switch up your little. Your chromosomes or and they're also, it's been researched before that they change your gender at birth. They'd have done that too before. And I don't know how often they still practicing that type of shit, but just
it's practice often, man.
You know what, let me just say this.
I ain't gonna say it's
Something
that, but.
happening. No, there's so much technology and there's so much like science that can prove to you stating at this moment, because I don't watch TV a lot, but I do a lot of reading. I'm on the internet a lot, you know what I'm saying? I like to read about scientific stuff when it comes to sexuality and when people saying I was born gay. Or I've been gay since I was a baby. To be honest with you, it's like your X and Y chromosomes can cross. That's why you have women and men that's like hermaphrodites. They have both man and woman parts. So what I'm saying is, it could be, because we're so, I'm not gay, gay is wrong. It could be, and I'm not saying because I'm not gay, but it could be that a woman was born in the wrong body and a man was born in the wrong body. From just genetics. Speak of this, we have a baby with special ed. She has more chromosomes than any other child. So that's when they call special needs. It happens. I've seen it happen. I see that it's on the internet, and I see that scientifically they say it can be. Now, if you are straight, I'm gonna stand up because I'm hastening now. If you're a woman like me, and you all of a sudden, I just want to date a girl. No, sweetheart, that's something that you want to do. That's not something that was bred into you. That's not your genes. That's not your make. That's something that you want to do because that's what you want to do.
It's a mental choice.
So I see it on the thing, and I'm like, okay, I had a man, but I'm not working out with the man, so I'm gonna go to a woman. That's your own sexual preference. That is a preference.
You didn't agree with. You were scorned by a man, so you
And
chose
that's
it.
Right.
That was a choice. That doesn't make
It's your preference. Your sexuality is not based on, it is your preference. I'm
Somebody
curious.
do anybody wanna come up? Anybody?
I do want to say one thing.
Anybody wanna come up?
Can I just say one thing? I don't gotta come up. I just want to say one thing in relation to what we're dealing with.
Okay.
I basically put it this way. I'm gonna get closer to the mic because I feel like y'all can hear me. All right. I put it this way. I don't have a problem with sexuality, individuality, like Jacob said, because there is a difference. There's a fine line. What I do have a problem with, though, is that in America, and I ain't gonna just say America, but the world itself, but I'm gonna speak for America because I'm from America. We tend to deal with so many different issues before we've dealt with other issues. So we're dealing with the gay issues, the identity crisis, the whatever you think you got going on in this world, that's fine. I mean, I'm not judging you. It, like Miss Lady, I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Ariel.
Like Ariel just said, you might grow up with a gene or a chromosome that's different, that's fine. We can get down to the bottom of that, that's fine. But me as a black man, I put it this way, and you might judge me or say whatever you want to say, but I'm dealing with my own issues. I'm black in America. And then all of these other issues get brought to the forefront and they take precedence over everything else in the world. That's pretty much one of my biggest concerns with the whole gay movement, the LGBT community, teaching kids, transsexuals, teaching kids in school and all. I mean, I have a problem with a lot of these different things because first and foremost, we haven't dealt with me being black in America. We haven't dealt with the shootings, the mass shootings from police brutality. And I don't want to blur or mix, or try to jump to a whole nother subject. But when it comes down to sexuality, because for one, I am a man. I have been taught to be a man. I'm from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. We grew up like, I think somebody was just making, Miss Lady, just making the point that when you grew up in a certain era, it wasn't no blurring the lines. If you were gay, you had to be a bold gay brother or sister back in my era to just walk out and be openly gay. If not, you hid that in the corner, in the closet, in the back room somewhere. And we put it this way, when people say, oh, so-and-so ain't been around, where they at? Oh, they just out of town, that means you were in jail. Yep. Or so-and-so was ill or something, they just went to that means you might have had a baby, ain't nobody seen you, there was different ways to hide shit. Nowadays, it's just out in the open. So that's all I want to say. I'm going to leave it alone.
But you know what, though? I would say
that's my biggest problem.
I definitely don't want to hear it at all, but I think this is what I'm saying, back to the conspiracy theory part. Ain't no way in the world went from 30% of people being gay back then to 70% being gay now. I think there's definitely behind the scene things going on where they're making.
Absolutely.
I think there's definitely some behind this.
And now we're pushing the agenda.
Even though it wasn't accepted as much as it is now, I can't see it going from, you only had a few people in your family was gay to almost everybody gay. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's been pushed to the forefront more. It goes in teaching it in school.
What I want to say is,
everything else.
I don't believe it's behind the scenes. What you just said, I disagree with you on that because it's flat out in your face.
No, when I say behind the scenes, I mean like the doctors could make, like I said, they could switch it.
I think he just said the between the ages.
What's going on right now, we have no control over it. It went so haywire, why things have jumped so bad, it's because of social media. You can't even control what your child is doing on social media.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say.
And what's going on with social media right now, your kids are doing things, you don't know what's going on. I got a 13-year-old son that had a problem with last year. Was telling a girl he was gonna do something to her sexually, talk about eating some shit. He don't know nothing about that. He ain't even had sex.
Influence.
It was talking, but he thought that was cool to say.
But it's not just
And I had to talk to him, but that's how he really felt. He thought that was the thing to say to make it sound look good.
We're gonna switch it up in a second.
We're gonna get back to the comment because we done got away from topic. You know what I'm saying? My thing is like a lot of the things that happen are because of influence, right? So now that there's this normalized behavior, a lot of individuals are influenced into behaving a certain kind of way. So they don't necessarily have to have that in them in the beginning, but as they grow in the environment in which they are in, they can sway either way. And that's why, you know what I mean? In my opinion, it takes a two-parent home. And I think a lot of this stuff happens because there aren't two parents in the home. We have kids by people that we don't want to be around. Next thing you know, we have these emotions. You have these mothers that are lightweight vindictive, some fathers that are lightweight vindictive, and instead of them focusing on raising the child is pretty much raised by social media. That's what's going on right now. And it's not 98%, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I get it, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of men make excuses on why they shouldn't be fathers, and it's because they never probably seen a real example of what a father was. So instead of being the fathers that are needed, they fall back and then allow society to raise their children. And as we're talking, you can see the different ways and the different paths that children can take by not having both parents in their home.
You got something to say about this? Then we're gonna switch subjects. You wanna say something about this? You want to?
Basically,
I feel like, not even the children, just adults, everybody is being influenced in a horrible way right now. And for me, take me for an example. 5-6 years ago, I was always watching Love and Hip Hop and the Real Housewives and the Black Ink Crew, all the reality shows just to see the drama and the ignorance, because I just needed that, you know? And the celebrities, like, you're seeing all this stuff. And I do feel like it is an agenda, and we are definitely being programmed. We are being programmed to be separate. It's just about separation. You know, separation in the household. Just pure separation all the time. People can't be successful without other people down talking them. You can't move at your own pace, or you're acting funny, or, you know, it's too much ignorance right now. And it's like, if you don't start programming yourself, you're just gonna be lost in the sauce. And that's just what it is. And that's what's happening to these kids. And it just seems like nobody cares. Everybody's so wrapped up in all the other bull crap that's going on. Nobody's paying attention to these daggone kids.
I'm glad you said that, because if you honestly look inside some of the public schools right now, you know what I'm saying, it's evident that there's no real concern for the children.
There's not.
There's no
they don't
concern.
even have no programming, no real programming for them anymore. They don't. They don't have nothing.
What happened to the Pledge of Allegiance? What happened to the Constitution? They don't take the Constitution no more. All these things have changed up with that.
It's not, to be honest with you, I don't think that we need to do that. Let me tell you why.
They've lost faith in a lot of it.
It's not that we've lost faith in it, it's never been for us. This is my opinion, okay? I don't believe that the Constitution is for us. We don't have no freedom of speech, we don't have anything. We are stuck in this circle around, and like I said, I don't believe nothing that we learned is for black children. I don't believe the testing is for black children. I don't believe anything that we grew up knowing our president to the flag that we shed our blood on. I don't pledge allegiance to that. I don't pledge allegiance to nothing but God himself. God, thank you, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? But all that other stuff, we got our hand, our chest,
Right.
And we're proclaiming our trust and our love to this stupid flag that didn't give a damn about us. I don't think this, period. So if my children, like they sing the Star Spangled Banner, say what?
What do you think? Do you think children should be allowed to pray in school?
Huh?
Do you think children should be allowed to pray?
Yes, I agree.
To the 10th
Hold
power.
on. That's a whole nother subject.
It's a whole other subject, but it should, yes,
I want to say one thing, and I know we getting off task, but with this social media stuff, it's so wild and so hard to deal with now. If we talk about kids not being raised in a double parent household, me and my wife will be together 20 years tomorrow.
Hey, now.
My daughter is 19, my son is 13. And I tell them every day, I say, you don't understand what you're blessed with to have two parents in the same house that have been together all this time. But one thing about it is, I still got struggles with them. So I know it's really hard on somebody who doesn't have another significant other with them.
Right.
So it's got to be and that's what they push on us, a downhill effect anyway.
All right, well,
That's what they're giving us.
Let's get to this next joint real quick. So, so Young Thug, the rapper Young Thug, kid's mom got killed the other day at the bowling alley for getting into argument with a cat over a ball. He waited outside for what the reports say for like 30 minutes till she came outside and shot the girl down. So my thing about that, and the reason why I'm talking about this, because my bigger picture is the aggressiveness, the dynamic has switched super bad when it comes to females and males. Like same thing what we're talking about, but it's on a different level. Men is whooping on women way easier, quicker now. Women is fighting women more. Women is fighting men more. The whole dynamic of man and woman is just weird.
The roles,
it's crazy.
The roles have been reversed. The roles have been reversed or either erased. So now the children are growing up with not having a strong connection of who they are, or the strong value of who they supposed to protect or who they supposed to be, intimate with. There's no understanding of that. So that whole line is blurred, on top of the fact that they are being programmed to lose respect for themselves at a faster pace.
Just like when you got people that say stuff like, well, if the woman hit me, I'm gonna hit her back.
Lame.
Yes, listen. I understand protecting yourself. But check this out. As a man, you know when that conversation is getting too far. You know when that conversation is getting too far.
As a human.
If you're a real person, right? I was just saying, if you're a real person, you know when that conversation is finna get too far. And as a man, you want to step. You know what? I ain't on that because I already know where it's going. You know what I'm saying?
But a lot of guys don't understand what it takes to be a man no more.
And that's the problem. That's what we're talking about.
Because they were raised by women, they haven't seen a man.
They've never seen a man. And they end up getting based into their emotions. So a lot of the times nowadays, a lot of the cats, in fact, this is part of the reason why we got so many shooters the way we do. These little dudes are emotional. They too emotional. They don't understand what it's like to even take constructive criticism from a person, or supposed to agree with them.
Yeah.
Always supposed to make tell them that they right. Like they don't believe that they supposed to have anyone to argue against them, and when they do, they flare up so quick, man. Chest be poked out, ready to reach and grab a gun because they never had that instruction on what it is to be the protector, to be the provider, to be the nurturer, to be the, you know what I'm saying? All the things that we need inside our households.
Well, so what do we say about the other way then? Because like I said, girls are super aggressive towards girls and men too.
They gotta protect themselves. They gotta protect themselves.
They have their guard up, and I understand to a certain extent.
What you mean they gotta protect themselves?
Can I say something, brother? Because I think y'all saying the same thing. I think, brother, when it comes down even to the women, it's the same thing. If you haven't been taught to be a woman, you're not going to be a woman. If you haven't been taught to be a man,
we gotta say that though.
you're not going to be a man.
Let's think about what Sis just said about all those reality shows, right? So Sis just was talking about all the reality shows, right? On these reality shows, even the richest females tend to spend their time fighting amongst each other. So these young ladies are now being programmed thinking that that's how they're supposed to react. And we got gunplay now. So, and the gender role is erased. The gender role is erased.
How many of your children are learning from Love and Hip Hop how to talk, how to react, how to have etiquettes?
Well, my children,
No, we ain't even talking about children. We're talking about how many people in general.
A lot of people use it as
Like, think about the first time you ever heard some of your coldest slogans or lines. You heard it from some of these reality shows. There you go. Hey, come on. You know something, right? All of these different things that we mimicking instead of mimicking a response.
You know what irritates me the most? Because I every day to work, I catch the bus and the train. And then I hear all these young kids, I listen to them on the train, I listen to them talk, and all I hear them say is girls calling girls bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
I hated that 5 years ago, bro, so I'm glad you, but that was 5 years ago for me. I'm used to it now, but I hate that I'm used to it.
I've been here for a while, I just cannot get used to it. That's not right.
It's erased out of our households, and the sad part about it is that our community, the black, brown, indigenous community, suffer the most because not only are you now struggling with your identity in regards to being a brown person in America, but now you also struggling with your sexuality as well.
So,
You know what I'm saying?
And then we get blamed for
The violence and the emotions that come with it. So we like dealing with this cesspool of danger, and that's why I think that the teachers threw their hands up, because I mean, what can they teach their kids if the kids come to school and they talking like that? They learning it from somewhere. And a lot of the times when these kids go to these schools, they come from homes where the parents talk to them in the same fashion.
Yep. Can I take it back on that? I think on you, I'm kind of loud. Can you, but what I would say, I'm gonna speak for me because I can't speak for anyone else. I grew up in a home where it was just my mom for a very long time, okay? My mom was extremely strict. I have not seen 95% of what we would call black movies because I couldn't. We were taught to be, you better sit up straight, you better not talk, you better not say nothing. We were taught to be just straight and narrow with my mom. When she got married, she became a little bit more lenient. But even that man wasn't my dad. You know what I'm saying? Then I met my dad when I was 27. So the only thing I knew was how to just, okay, I gotta be good, I gotta do this. So I got married young to get away from that because I felt like I need to find the love that I don't have. I never had from a man. I believe that's the problem when it comes to, and I'm speaking for as a woman. If you do not have that father figure, that man figure, because your dad doesn't have to be there, you can have your stepdad, your uncle, but if you don't have that figure in your life to show you how to be loved correctly, how to be a woman, and because you don't just have to take from your mom how to be a woman. A man can show you, okay, babe, this is what men look for. This is what a man wants. This is what a man look. You know, because if I'm out here being a man gonna want to mess with me. He gonna probably want to mess because I look good, but not because he wants to keep me as his wife. There's a difference. So I was never taught to be a wife. I had to learn. I wasn't taught to be loved by a man because I had to learn on my own. And that caused me to fall into the hands of a man that did not love me and respect me. But I thought he did because he took me and my son. He took in this. He did a lot of different things, but he was very abusive at the same time. So if I had a man in my household, maybe I would have learned how to understand me as a woman and how to be loved properly. But I had a mom. That doesn't mean, yes, I want to hear that a woman can teach a woman how to be a woman. It's not true sometimes. No. It's not true. My mom was extremely abusive. She was extremely angry all the time. So she's not teaching me how to be a woman. She just teaching me how to be a person that takes shit.
She's teaching
somebody
that
reacts to something negative
all the time.
Every time.
On edge.
So that's the reason why women to this day. Yes, I was a tomboy. I wanted to kick everybody's ass because that's how I was taught.
Right.
Everybody was against me, so I gotta man up. And that's why I am to how I am today.
I tried to break that cycle so hard with my daughter, and I said, I take her out. This is daddy-daughter day. And what we're gonna do is, we're gonna go out and eat, and I'm gonna talk shit, see what's on your head, see what your mind is, where you at. But the whole thing is, I want you to understand certain things. You're raised on a certain level, you don't have to go back. You don't have to settle. So if you use certain things, you are allowed to be for those privileges. But you also need to bring something to the table. You need to be know how to clean, cook, whatever. Not saying like there's certain things you have to do, but you need to know these things because also things you need to bring to the table as a woman.
Just be
you need to be able to take care of yourself, your hygiene and things like that. You can't just think you're gonna be a slob and then you get a great man that's gonna take care of you.
But that's the thing though, you're talking about cleaning and slobbing. This is the thing though. I need this and I want this to stop. There is no role in man and woman. There's no role.
See, I have to kind of disagree.
Let me tell you, and you can disagree, but I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not, just because I'm a woman, I mean I gotta cook and clean and things like that. I'm talking about things like this. There's a difference.
I want to hear this. Where we at?
I want to hear what you have to say, but I want to finish what I have to say.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
When it comes to, if I'm at home first, it's not a.
Hold on. Sidebar.
This is the thing. A lot of people feel the relationship is 50-50. It is not. There may be times that I give 70, you give 30, and you give 30, I give 70. There may be times that you go cook and clean and do the dishes and I don't because I had a long 13, 14-hour day. The problem is when I grew up, it was like, women's supposed to do this, women's supposed to do that. That's not fair because I don't feel like a man should only be the person who bring in money. I feel like it should be a togetherness. But I was in nature and nurture. That's bullshit. Excuse my language. Because at the end of the day, what if that man loses his job?
See, but
what happens then?
I think, but the thing about that is go back to what we just said. Ain't nothing 100%. We're talking in general. So therefore, yes, in a relationship, you're gonna have, like you just said, sometimes you might put in 70, I put in 30, sometimes I put in 70, you put in 30. But overall, overall, there's certain things that should just happen, and of course, throughout the week, throughout the month, it's not gonna go like that all the single time, but it's a certain, I'll tell you one thing. If I'm in the house, or if I'm coming back soon, if I'm not going on a trip or something, a woman should be taking the trash out.
No, I just said.
If we pull up,
should or
shouldn't be. If we pull up to a gas station, a woman should not be pumping the gas. It's not about is she capable or any of that. It's about just certain things she shouldn't do.
I don't recommend if he's sitting in the car and going outside all the gas.
And just like,
I've done all of that.
but you shouldn't have. But you shouldn't have to.
Brother.
Hey, brother.
You're supposed to be a man supposed to be able to protect at all costs. That's a man. That's just a man. If you can't protect, I don't know what you're doing. You're not a man. You can't protect your woman.
And listen,
One at a time though.
and then so yeah. Once again, of course, we're not saying that this is the only thing you gotta do, can do, or blah 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 blah. It's just certain things. If we're both in the house or whatever, majority of the time, I mean, you know, some dudes like to cook, so that's an exception. But the woman should be doing the cooking.
Why?
Just.
There is what she should do. So in my opinion, in regards to this one, when it comes down to relationships, right? When it comes down to relationships is two individuals.
There you go.
Right? So a relationship takes two individuals, right? The only way to make a relationship work is if those two individuals work together. Now, inside of every relationship, it's not going to be the same. Some women like painting. Some women like building walls. I done seen women that build she sheds. I done seen guys that like to cook donuts all day. Like, it's going to be a reversal. It's for us. It's up to the individuals who are in those relationships to decide what those boundaries are and what that looks like to complement each other. Because a relationship is about complimenting one another.
But do you not think that? But do you not think that once again, like we just say, nothing 100%. So
No,
we're just talking in general.
I do agree with you too, brother.
So do you not agree though that something should just be automatic?
In my opinion,
I do agree to a certain extent. I'm like right here.
Some things should be automatic in regards to
Alright, so you
when I
better
think.
automatically pay all the bills because y'all
No, who
nervous.
said that? Who said
No,
that?
but that's what you're saying.
Let me just give my examples of when it should be automatic. If you are at your car and you got 10 bags of groceries, that man should come help you with those
You gotta talk about
groceries.
actions, you're not talking about, that's
I'm
actions.
just like those are responsibilities in relationships. I've seen relationships fall out.
I'm with my wife 20 years.
Because people don't want to take the
more than
garbage
just an
out,
action.
or because they can't alternate when to clean up the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Like the bathroom is a universal job. But when you outside the home, it's certain things that a man should do. A man should automatically make sure that his woman is on the inside of the street.
Exactly.
Right? Automatically.
Exactly.
Instantly, in the door. As soon as you get out the car, you're supposed to put, baby, come on, you get on here, I'm on the outside.
Exactly.
When it comes to taking out the garbage, automatically, a man should automatically, let me get this out the house so she don't have to worry about it. Now, there's some things that I can say a woman should do automatically, but I'm not a woman, so I don't know what that
See,
looks
we can't do that though.
I don't know what that looks like.
Say something though.
Bro, you know, but you being respectful. You being respectful.
Some women don't want to cook for
I wanna hear
That's
what
not-
you feel, but I wanna hear it, go ahead.
Don't dismiss the fact that we are all individuals, and as a man and as a woman, we don't come in this world attached to anyone. We come in this world as individuals. So as an individual, you should know how to do everything possible to do for yourself. Man or woman.
No,
As a man, as a single man living in, well, not single man, but as a man living in my own home, I know how to cook for myself. I know how to clean for myself. I know how to take out my own garbage. I know how to open the door for the woman when she comes to my house. I know how to open the door for the woman when she leaves my house. I know how to cook for the woman when she comes to my house. I know how to let the woman cook at my house if she wants to cook.
Okay, so
As a man and as an individual, man or woman, you should know how to do any and everything You need to know how to do
See, that's what we
for
do.
self.
Yeah.
Individual, you should know how to feed yourself. If you're not in a relationship, and if you are in a relationship,
See, but
you should know how to cook for your girl.
I think
You should know how to
everybody-
cook for your girl.
I don't
You
think
should know how. You
listen,
should know
I
what
think
your.
you're already in a rope.
You
I don't
should
think
know what
nobody
your
said that
woman. You said.
No, he just-
You said in the relationship, it's automatic. The woman should cook.
No.
It's not automatic.
No, I said.
As a man,
once-
I'm saying that's
No,
not
I said,
automatic.
first of all, I say ain't nothing 100%, first of all. I said that.
Nothing.
I said that already. Ain't nothing 100%.
Automatic and
We're just talking in
100%
general. So,
Sync sounds.
Let me get these
So-
two
the same
comments
thing.
out.
so when you pull up to a gas station, if you in the car with your girl, is she ever getting out pumping the gas? Ever?
We're not talking about.
We're talking about different
I'm not
things.
talking about the role as a man, the role as a woman. I'm talking about individual as a man, as a woman, being on your own. I'm not talking
No,
about
of course you
relationships,
should know how to do
societal
everything
statuses.
to survive on your own. You should know how to do we're not talking
Yeah,
about
and,
that.
and what you know for self, you should take into the relationship.
I feel you.
Both y'all saying it right. Y'all saying it right. Y'all just got two different, but y'all saying it right. Can I say one thing real quick?
So let me just get these comments off real quick and we'll get right back to it. So we got young ladies that are on here and they chiming in and they say everyone has a part to play, Nia Forte. And then you have Anita Dukes, a woman gonna do her part and more if it's in her. It's not that hard. It comes natural if you don't think that hard. It's gonna come together.
Yeah.
And then Nia says again, that's why communication with one another is key.
That's really the key.
Anita Dukes, a woman loves her part. If they are lazy, it's your decision to stay with her. For me, I'm not lazy and I've been taught to be independent. So I just wanted to get them comments out.
Go ahead, let my
Can I
man
just say something?
Go ahead, bro.
I think I just want to, because I've been kind of just analyzing the room, just kind of looking at everybody's viewpoint. And I kind of see some strong sisters up here that where y'all look at it as like, okay, I could take out my own trash, I can open my own door. I get it. But there's nothing wrong with having a man that does it
That's
for you.
not what I'm saying.
I'm not saying, look, I'm not, look, and don't believe, look, I'm not trying to say that that's what you are saying. What I am saying though is that there's roles, like my man Farge was saying, there's roles with everybody's relationship. So if you get into a relationship, like my man was saying, and you're used to certain ideas and certain things, you need to make sure that's what your partner is gonna bring to the relationship.
I get that.
So all I'm saying though is that if you're used to having, like we even go to how you raise, whether it's your, you know, your upbringing or whatever. If you raised to revere your mother and fear her, then 9 times out of 10 you'll probably be kind of good to your woman. You gon', you know. But if you don't have a certain understanding with your mother or this, or you have a certain, then it might be a little harder for you. Same thing with men and with whatever. Bottom line is that I look at it this way, and the point I was just finna make is that I've been with my wife for 20 years, okay? We have learned as every year it gets different, we relearn each other, all of that good stuff, but like my man was saying, ain't no way if I'm in the house, she's taking out the trash. Ain't no way if I'm pumping gas and so it all goes down to what you expect out of your spouse. Because if you feel a certain way, man, that's how you feel. If I get to the gas station and I'm with you and we in a relationship and you say, nigga, I'm pumping the gas, hey, go pump the gas, baby. I'm gonna just make sure I watch you. You dig? I'm not gonna take you out of your element though, because look, this is all I'm saying, bro, is that I feel you too. But when you in a relationship, you have to make sure the relationship works. You can't sit here and bicker about who gonna do X, Y, and Z. It's a relationship, bro. You gotta get in where you fit and make each other happy.
Yeah, definitely.
But this is what I'm saying. Everybody figures that out for themselves. Me personally, I'm not finna let my woman do none of that mess. You know what I'm saying? But if she gotta do it, she will do it. I feel what Jacob even said. Hey, can I just end mine out? I'm gonna end mine out and I'm gone. I'm gonna end mine out and I'm gone. Hold up.
Hey, y'all.
Thousand parts. I'm gonna end mine out and I'm gone. But it's just like Jacob said. It comes down to the point of where, look, man, I do everything. I can cook, clean, decorate. I do all of that. But I'm not gonna let my woman feel like she can't come in and do her thing as a woman. You know what I'm saying? So we figure out what you good at and what I'm good at and we compromise. Okay. That's why we've been in it for 20.
One thing.
So that's all I'm saying.
It's a comment that comes through.
You compromise.
So let's say in the beginning, right? So I'm just gonna read the comment. The comment goes, I want my man to open the doors for me. I didn't have that at one point, and it was hard for me to allow the man to do those things. Now I don't want anything less. So it's like in some situations, we might not even know what it feels like to have that shoe on the other foot. You know what I'm saying?
I 100% agree with that last
comment. We might not even
comment.
know what that feels like. You know what I'm saying? Until we actually receive that. And now once we receive that, we kind of set our bar and say, you know what? I might have accepted this in the past as being acceptable, but I'm not going to accept it in the future as being acceptable because now we know what that looks like and what that feels like.
That's
And
just like I
whoever
seen
said
the
that, bro, tell them 100. I totally agree.
That's a real one.
Once the bar is set, it should be that.
It should be that forever.
So that's just like a video I seen yesterday when the girl said, she said, dudes that got jobs and do everything right, they irk me. I just be wanting to tell them, get the fuck away from me. And I'm looking like, are you serious?
That's the world. That's reality, though. Some women are like that.
Some shit I got used to. You know what I'm saying? Or it's something like so let's say if you got everything, you appreciate nothing. Right? So if you got everything at your doorstep, you don't appreciate that because it's always there. But if you come from something and you ain't got nothing, every time you see something, you're going to appreciate that value because you come from nothing.
Man,
so a lot of people it's a fine line because a lot of people get, you know what I'm saying, everything that they want and then they become accustomed to that, to the point to where they don't even appreciate it. And that's why I think like a lot of things happen in regards to our children because some women get accustomed to a certain type of behavior and when they don't see that, they get down on the man. Or you're not man enough. Or you're not doing this. Or you're not doing that.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm go to Slim, you go ahead and I'll go after.
So for me personally, being in a relationship with my older son's father was a huge scar. So I was always on survival mode when I was in a relationship with him. And I was taking care of everything. That man used to get my car towed all the time. I was trying to go to school. I was working. It was a lot. I was a first-time mother. Like, I was handling every single thing to the point where I started getting so mentally sick, I was always in the hospital because I was doing everything because I'm trying to keep us together because Sim was a baby, and and I've always seen my mom just handle every single thing. There was nobody in the household. My dad was never like in the household with my mom raising me, and he died when I was 14. So then it was just like, I just seen her just be independent, but then I also seen her be too aggressive and just wouldn't allow anything else, wouldn't allow people to come in and do anything. It was just her way, her way, her way. So for me, when I got into that relationship and trying to raise my child and trying to do everything that I felt was right, it scarred the hell out of me because then how I dealt with everybody else was, okay, we can live together, but in my mind, I'm still moving like that I have to take care of everything because I don't trust you. Because if you fall back, then I'm gonna grind even harder and then probably be mentally sick again. So for me, I had to grow out of that mentality because then I got into another relationship and then I felt like I had to just keep doing more. And I'm such a resourceful person. Like, I'm looking for every resource. I'm doing everything. I'm networking. I'm trying to make sure that everything is together. And some people are just so used to just getting whatever and just floating through life. And for me, I'm just trying to pound the paper, make sure everything is together. And I always lose myself. So I had to take all of that into consideration. And I had to understand that when it is time for me to be blessed with my next and final relationship, I know what I need to do. And it's definitely not being afraid of allowing somebody to what? Well, I don't even say part. Just be them and us be together. And I don't have to be scared just thinking that you're going to just crash and burn and I'm just going to have to take care of everything. So I had to unlearn the crap that was in my head, and it made me just too nope, I won't use that word, but, well, they say, you just too independent, you won't let me do nothing. So I had to.
I actually
Had
had
to
a
back.
situation, so I met somebody who was just dealing with something that she was dealing with in regards to like trying to take care of everything, you know what I mean? And I watched this person, you know, we was doing boats last year, right? This woman get out, she got the cooler, the bag, the towels, the hats. I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Give me one of them bags. She, oh, I got it. I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's me.
it's okay to be a woman.
That's what I was trying to say.
It's okay. I don't want nothing. I just want to help you. You know what I'm saying? You got all these bags. You got this cooler you dragging. You got the sun hats, the box. Let me help you. And at first she was hesitant because she's been so conditioned into believing that she has to do everything for herself.
Yeah.
And it's sad because a lot of women in our society have had to foot that bill.
Yep.
Because the men, in my opinion, ain't man enough to step up to the plate. They not man enough to do the things they need to do. And a lot of them fall back on excuses so that they don't have to commit to the responsibilities as a man.
Well, it goes both ways.
I mean, it goes both ways, but in my example,
Us as men, we
got
need
something to
unconditional, we need to uncondition that situation and change it all the way around and start putting our part in and make, we gotta start with, like what you're doing right now, dealing with the youth. We have to keep working harder to make these younger men understand how to treat a woman, to do what needs to be done, to make them feel good, to bring our black women back to themselves, and our women back to themselves, period. Because they don't feel like women because they think they have to be a man. That's why we're getting all these fights and struggles with men and women that y'all talked about earlier. I'm gonna write a whole twist. Because it's coming about because women feel like they have to be men.
yeah.
If I'm raising boys and girls and all this stuff, and I'm potty training a boy, and I'm talking to a girl, and I'm dealing with school, I'm dealing with work, and I'm bringing everything to the table, and I got all these issues on my chest, how she feel like she's doing a man job, and there ain't no man in the picture. So now the child don't see no man, they don't know what a man look like. It's all bad. So we trying to fix this. That's what we're trying to do. That's the whole, we trying to restructure this program.